This is due to the fact that Judge Nelisa Torres granted Ripple a partial success in court. According to statements made by Stuart Alderati, the chief legal officer of the corporation, the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) should not appeal the ruling if the United States government is interested in promoting the use of cryptocurrencies. In addition to that, he added that the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) was unsuccessful in all of the important disputes, including the question of whether or not XRP is a security in and of itself. In addition, he is of the opinion that the SEC has eventually been victorious over Ripple. Yet, as Judge Nelisa, Torres ultimately gave down her verdict about the ongoing legal dispute between Ripple and the SEC, which has been going on for 4 years. The XRP community witnessed its most important day, but it was also the day that Torres finally handed down her decision. That Ripple should have registered its sales of XRP to experienced investors as securities was something that she uncovered, as we mentioned in our statement. Following the discovery of this information, she issued an order mandating that the company pay a fine to the Securities and Exchange Commission in the amount of $125 million. Nevertheless, the judge sided with Ripple in the other key dispute, such as the question of whether or not XRP is fundamentally a security. In this case, the judge ruled in favor of Ripple. As a consequence of this, the price at which XRP is being sold experienced a huge boost. Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderati, presented an interpretation of the verdict in an interview that took place not too long ago with CNBC. He referred to the verdict as a huge success for the company as well as for the industry as a whole. These words were spoken in reference to the verdict. During the course of our conversation with Mackenzie Sigalos of CNBC, Alderati shared that we are experiencing a great deal of happiness. The fight against the Securities and Exchange Commission, which can be seen here, was extremely important for the industry. Since Gary Gensler took over as chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, the agency has been vocally opposed to Bitcoin, as he pointed out. However, it is vital to keep in mind that Gensler's predecessor, Jay Clayton, was the one who launched the legal action against Ripple, and that Gensler had just inherited the case. This is something that requires careful consideration. I am of the opinion that they were not successful in doing everything that was important to them in their attempt to prove that a token, specifically XRP, can be regarded as a security. A resounding defeat was handed down by the court. His observation was that XRP is a token. In the decision that she handed down, Judge Torres made the observation that an asset, whether it be gold or a cryptocurrency such as XRP, cannot be considered a security in and of itself. Additionally, a company has the ability to package this asset as if it were also a security. If this scenario were to play out, the corporation would be held responsible for violations of the law regarding security. Taking into consideration the explanation provided by Alderati, this is the offense for which Ripple was judged to be responsible. Because of the manner in which those sales were packaged with sophisticated third parties, the judge came to the conclusion that some previous sales that began around the year 2015 need to have been registered under the securities laws. This conclusion was reached after the judge conducted an inquiry. The particular feature of the decision that we respect is, however, the one that was mentioned earlier. It was decided by Judge Torres that Ripple would have 30 days to pay the fine. Alderati has also declared that the company will comply with the ruling that was issued. In the aftermath of this, he is optimistic that the Securities and Exchange Commission will be able to move on from the corporation and focus on other matters that are more pressing. Furthermore, he is optimistic that the ruling will make it possible for the government of Vice President Joe Biden to change its aggressive anti-crypto character and instead capitalize on the potential of blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies to improve the economy of the United States. He has high hopes that this will be possible, in spite of the fact that Ripple is celebrating the conclusion of its 4-year legal battle with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. A number of attorneys have expressed concern regarding or not the most recent court developments truly constitute a victory for the business. On August 7th, Ripple, the company that is responsible for the cryptocurrency known as XRPC, as well as a network for currency exchange, celebrated the conclusion of its legal battle with the SEC, which had lasted for 4 years. The battle had been going on for this long. Brad Garlinghouse, the chief executive officer of Ripple, made the announcement of X and noted that Judge Nelisa Torres altered the earlier plan of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) to penalize Ripple for damages amounting to $2 billion by '94. Ripple, the industry, and the rule of law have all achieved success as a result of this victory. The chief executive officer made the statement that the headwinds that the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) had been applying to the entire XRP ICO system. Should we consider this a triumph or a new chapter in the continuing legal battle between Ripple and the SEC? This information comes from Bradley Garlinghouse. After the release of garlinghouse, the community immediately responded to the news, which led to a 26% spike in the value of XRP due to the reaction of the community. Ripple has said that the most recent court verdict is a significant victory for the company, according to a number of attorneys. However, there are some individuals who are cautious to make the declaration that it is a complete win. There have been a number of people who have even suggested that this might not be the last chapter in the legal fight. Ripple does not have the sensation of being a winner, despite the fact that it is a winner. As far as Philip Mustakis, a lawyer at Seward Kistel and a former Secretary of Counsel, is concerned, it is still difficult to assert that there are any winners in the case. In spite of the fact that the court's decision to reduce the SEC's request for remedies from $2 billion to $125 million is not a victory for the CC, this is the case because there is currently a lack of clarity on the securities laws of the United States and how they should apply to cryptocurrencies, the costs of legal defense in addition to the penalties, and the disruption of Ripple's business since the lawsuit began in late 2020. This is the reason why this is the case. Ripple is a winner, as Mustakis has indicated, but I believe that in the larger scheme of things, if you have to be involved in litigation for years, have your asset, your token be delisted from exchanges for at least some time, fight with a regulator, and pay a large fee, then Ripple is not a winner. The feeling is that this is not a victory. This remark was given in reaction to an article that was published by Law 360, which is a publication of the Legal News Service. Further to the considerable cost that will be incurred as a consequence of Ripple's triumph, there will be additional expenses. Another possibility is that the Securities and Exchange Commission will challenge some portions of the case. If the SEC wishes to file an appeal, they have until the beginning of October to do so. The Securities and Exchange Commission was given 60 days to file an appeal in the Ripple case before the court's ultimate decision was issued. This was in response to the most recent order that Torres made in the case. Fred Ripple, a lawyer who gives support for XRP, stated on X on August 7th that today marks the beginning of the 60-day countdown to the deadline to file an appeal. Ripple's statement was made before the deadline. Eleanor Tourette, a journalist for Fox Business, has suggested that the potential appeal that the Securities and Exchange Commission has indicated it may submit will most likely be related to previous court decisions rather than the most recent ruling about the remedies. XRP is once again in the spotlight, but this time it is not due of another price instability. XRP is now performing really well. Because of something that has the potential to be one of the most significant advances in its recent history, this is the reason why it is happening. The technical indicators are pointing in the direction of a large positive rise, which is being backed by legal victories that offer holders of Ripple's native cryptocurrency a renewed sense of optimism. This can be seen as a positive development. On the other hand, there are technical signs that are indicating that an increase is likely to occur. Over the past few weeks, the cryptocurrency known as XRP has been able to regain the interest of investors, particularly when it registered a 20% increase in value in just a few days. The monthly charts of the asset have been analyzed, and analysts have found a bullish triangle. This is a rare technical structure that has historically regularly occurred before to significant price changes. It is not a coincidence that there has been an increase in interest. The configuration in question was found by analysts yesterday. A growing amount of purchasing pressure is suggested by the creation of this triangle, which is generated by the convergence of trend lines in an upward direction or the upper resistance line. This triangle is produced when the trend lines converge in. A breakthrough of this kind has the potential to spark off a price hike that is not only considerable but also occurs at a rapid pace. There are, however, risks connected to this situation that must be taken into consideration. Despite the fact that this specific technical pattern has resulted in a substantial gain in price due to a great deal of speculation, it is essential to bear in mind that in the unpredictable world of cryptocurrencies, there is never anything that can be considered certain.